Hey, YouTube. So, I've been kind of trolling through, I shouldn't use the word troll, but looking through YouTube and came across a couple of videos on marbling and how to marble rods. And some people just aren't getting it. So, here in a minute, I'm going to do my own video on how to marble. And it's going to be on a rod that I'm working on for my daughter. And I just posted a video recently of a scales that I did on a rod, and I did one before that for a customer. But the one I just recently did didn't have any marbling, so there's not much point to showing that one. But this is a rod that I did a while back, but it's a really good example of what marbling is supposed to look like. Now, the stuff that they sell in Mudhole is not bad marbling, but the technique that I'm seeing is people are taking a toothpick and they're making lines and all that stuff and they're drawing in there. You don't have to do that. In fact, the best result you're going to get is by hardly touching it at all and applying heat. And I use a Testores paint, and I don't know if the video really does this pole justice, but it looks so much better in person. Try to get some light on it, but I don't have the best camera. I'm just using my tablet. But I was using my phone on my last one. It didn't come out good, so I thought I'd try to use my tablet. And on the video I'm going to do here in a minute, I'm going to use my tablet also. Now, this isn't related to it, but this is a pattern that I did on there with thread. People are tending to move away from this. I still like these kind of patterns, and I'll put decals in the middle of them. But what I'm seeing is more and more people just go into marbling, and it's a faster way to do a pole. In fact, it's lightning fast. This takes hours. This takes minutes. So I like to do both. I try to incorporate both into my poles, but I don't really ever talk in detail about my poles because I don't know, I don't feel like anybody's ever listening, so I don't waste much time talking. But I have another one here which came out really good, but there's some fish scales on here because this pole gets used a lot. This pole gets used a lot. I believe these are just American Tackle blanks. I don't think these are anything spectacular as far as blanks go. But that's a black and green marbling. Got some skull decals on there. You can see the fish scales. Those can wash off. That's not a part of the pole. But interesting thing about this thread right here, this is some guide broad electric green, and I haven't been able to find it anymore. I probably have the last remaining spool of that. I know there's some companies that make some thread that's close, but it's nowhere near as good as the guide broad. I wish they would come back. Anyways, that's a pattern. And I got it on a really cool reel that gets overlooked as a, this is an Ambassador Eon. They're really good little eBay finds. I mean, you get these things for like 35 bucks. And when I bought my first one, it was 140 or something like that. So out the door, these were pretty expensive originally, and people just kind of grew away from them. They didn't like them that much, but I do. I buy them all day long if I could. Now the pole that I'm going to do the marbling on, my kid, is similar to the pole that I posted last night. Now it's got scales on it, but let's turn this light away. It's hard working with the glare. It really is, because these poles are shiny at times. But it's got blue and pink scales all the way up it. I've got this blank spot here. Now this is where my marbling is going to go. Now I went with a blue Hypalon handle with some chrome, and I'll probably put some silver thread in there when I do this. So what I'm going to show you is just a small portion. I'm going to show you this section later in the next video, and I'm going to have this all marbled out. I'm going to start off, I won't show it in the video, but I'm going to put some thread here, and then I'll put a little bit of thread right here, and that'll stop the flow. I don't want the flow to go past that because I don't want it going up anywhere else. I want it on the handle. That's a big mistake people make when they're doing marbling, is they'll put epoxy all the way up here, and then the epoxy will run down along with the marbling. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you put a little cap here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat it in epoxy, and then I'm going to take a needle and I'm going to drop paint into it. I'm not going to touch the epoxy. I'm just going to drop it in there. And as it's spinning, I'm going to drop it in there as it's spinning. And once I've had enough one in there, I'm going to take a lighter and I'm going to come up underneath it with the lighter. I'm going to heat it up, and you'll actually see the paints marbling together and spinning together. You really don't need to push the paint around with the needle or anything. I mean, people do that. I mean, I personally think it looks tacky myself. I like the way it looks when it blends together and it actually marbles. That's why it's called marbling, because the paint is supposed to marble together. Kind of like a tie-dye effect or something, you know. But I've got some nice sugar skulls I'm going to put on this. And when this is done, it's going to be a really nice saltwater blank. Really nice. But we use it for heavy catfish out here in Texas. So, well, can't wait to do it. So, thanks for watching.